Hello.
That's my camera. Hello. Okay, we'll start. Oh, this is all gonna be.
Take two.
Oh, actually, I should do that too.
Take one.
Ready?
All right.
That's how I can match up the cameras. A lot easier.
There you go.
There you go. Welcome everybody to episode 3 of If You Would Have Told Me.
Yes.
Mine and Emily's new podcast.
It's fantastic.
Fantastic. I always wanted to play. I actually was going to start this episode. I wanted to try a little one-word improv game because this is a story-based podcast. We're going to tell stories, make fun of stories. Yes. And I was like, you know what? Let's create stories.
Should we first introduce ourselves, though? Because we did not do that.
Yes, I'm Joe Fernandes.
And I'm Emily Page.
And this is If You Would Have Told Me. So we're going to do one-word improv.
Okay.
I'll start. So one word at a time.
Okay.
So we're going to start off with If You Would Have Told Me. So I'll start.
Okay.
If
you
would have
told
me
that
I
am
going
to
the
store
for
batteries,
I
would
have
told
you
not
to
believe
the
truth
about
the
horses
and
the
people
that
ride
them. All right. It's not gonna be a very long story, but you know, I think it made zero sense. I don't know why I threw horses because you can't lollygag on the thought too much.
I don't know. I said batteries.
Yeah, batteries, but
threw you with that one.
What?
I think I threw you with that one.
Yeah, we'll do another one. We'll see. That one was crazy. That was batteries, and I don't even know if it made any sense. So you start off with the if this time.
Oh, we're doing it again right now?
Let's try it. Yeah, let's try it.
If
you
would
have
told. See, that's okay.
Is it would
Wait,
or would
I know,
have?
but that's what you threw me with the first one. You're like, would have. I'm like, oh, it's a conjunction, but like it's a.
Well, our podcast title is a conjunction.
It's okay. All right, but so what? One word.
Yeah, one word.
Would have. Okay.
Yeah.
If
you
would have
told
me
that
would.
What? Wait, which wood? Like, wait, you threw me on that one. I was like, piece of wood, or are we going back to would have?
Dude, would have.
Oh, would have. Oh, you're really. She's trying to split the conjunction and my brain up. Beep that out.
I'm trying to throw you. All right.
Try it one more time.
If
you
would have
told
me
that
the
rat
and
the
cat
jumped
over
the
moon.
Oh, you're writing a Dr. Seuss story. Is this how Dr. Seuss came up with his?
This is why I've never done improv, because I would just be crying on stage.
Well, it's supposed to be fun. We're right. All right. Listen, those are our two. We're going to do this from time to time.
I think we should do it every time.
We should do it every time, for sure. Every episode. And we're going to get better at it. Real improv people are like, yo, these guys suck at this.
We should do this in Mad Libs. You ever play Mad Libs?
What's Mad Libs?
Oh, that's where like I have a paper in front of me and it's like, I'll be like, I need an adjective and you give me a random adjective, or I need a verb. And then, so you have to know your parts of speech. Okay. But then you tell me random things and I fill it in. And then I read the story out loud with your words in random spots.
Okay.
I'll bring in Mad Libs next time. You've never done Mad Libs before?
I don't, probably.
I feel like you have. We probably could find an online version too.
All right, maybe we'll find it before next episode.
All right, perfect.
Then we'll try it.
I have no one's been talking to me all day, and all of a sudden my phone is like blowing up.
Right as you're
as I'm recording, as I'm getting my articles. They do. They're on to me.
They're on to you. They're like, we don't like that she's doing a podcast.
Like, I saw your post and your story.
Oh,
what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Drinking coffee.
Doing podcasting, making up improv stories.
You threw me with rat.
I threw. Well, yeah. Well,
you threw me.
Well, we just got to throw the first thing out in your head.
Sometimes I'm like, why is that coming to my head?
Rat?
Right. But then I
came into my head.
No, I know, but I'm like, why? But like batteries for me, why? But like the funny thing for me was you said rat, and I thought of the radio station WRAT. That was the first thing I was like, ah.
Yeah, but you could have swung it that way.
Yeah, I didn't.
You know, it's fine. I don't even remember the story we made up, but it's gonna be a great reel.
You're gonna be like, wait a minute.
We're gonna try this.
Well, I was thinking you said something about cow and then said jumping and then over the moon, and like I thought of the nursery rhyme.
Yeah, I was just because first it was going very Dr. Seuss. We're gonna get rhyming.
Cat
in a hat.
I've been reading a lot of Green Eggs and Ham to my daughter every night. That's every night. That's her go-to now. She's like, read this book. It's 60-something pages, by the way. The story is 60-something pages. Like, and there's only like a few words on each page, but I'm like, when it's late at night, it's the last thing I really want to do is read a 60-page Dr. Seuss book to my daughter.
I can be Emily reads to her daughter, looking to see how many pages are left. Like you do, like when's this chapter over?
It's just, well, I took melatonin for the first time last night.
You fell asleep in the Green Eggs and Ham book?
Well, so my daughter is getting her big girl bed. So we converted her crib over to a bed. So the bed is now in her room, but we don't have the mattress yet. So lucky girl gets to sleep in bed with me until her mattress comes in later this week.
Gotcha.
Okay. So she's like, Mom, before bed tonight, read me a bedtime story. We were at a friend's house last night. We didn't get home till way past her bedtime, my bedtime too. It was like 9:30. I should have been sleeping. So I took melatonin for the first time. And I just took the serving size, which says 2 gummies. And it says, chew these. It'll take it 30 minutes to kick in. I'm like, perfect. I have enough time to read a book. I don't know if it's because I've never taken it before, but I literally sat in bed and I was like 2 minutes into taking it and my eyes were glazing over. And I'm like, this is like hard drugs for me.
Wow.
Melatonin. And she's like, read green Eggs and Ham. I'm like, girl, I can't even.
Emily got the fentanyl-laced melatonin at the grocery store.
Like Target is selling me drugs. And so I made it through the book, but literally she's just like, can you get me a bottle of water when you get up? I'm like, sure, I'll get you a bottle of water when I get up. And I just passed out of bed. And this morning she woke up, she goes, you didn't give me my bottle of water. I was like, I passed out.
So you left to get her a bottle of water, passed out? And then
no, I never made it out. She fell asleep too, but I never made it to the kitchen to get water.
So groggy.
She's more than capable of getting her own bottle of water, by the way. Yeah. She's 5. Like she knows
where the water's at.
She knows where the water's at. She just was like, I'm like her little slave. But I was like, I think that they're like serving size 2 gummies. I think for me, it's like half of one.
Okay.
Because I don't know if it's because my body, I've never taken it before, so it like really like hit
hard.
But I made it through Green Eggs and Ham, but I didn't read it with the liveliness that I usually read it with.
What?
I'm usually very enthusiastic with my book reading.
Yeah, wait, do a line from Green Eggs and Ham.
I'll bring it next.
We're gonna do story time.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I was just like reading it. I'm like,
Sam I Am, right?
Sam I Am. Yep.
So you were just like, I don't like green eggs and Mommy.
In the dark, could you in the dark? It gets a little like, and I'm like, this book, I want to write jokes about it because I'm like, some of these lines, would I do what in the dark? In a boat with a goat? It's like, gets a little.
In a boat with a goat.
Here or there.
Yeah, we should break down Green Eggs and Ham.
All right, I'll bring in one episode. We'll do it.
Yeah, how creepy it is.
It is. I was never really a big Cat in the Hat fan. But she loves those books, and I like to challenge myself to make sure I can read them perfectly without making a mistake.
Okay.
That's like, apparently that's how I make myself feel worth anything. I don't know. It's just, if I don't mess up.
That's where you find your worth? You're
that's my worth.
Be like, I'm feeling a little down today. Getting out some Seuss. And I expect nothing but perfection, or I'm just going to look in the mirror and be like,
you failure.
You deserve nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Rhyming, that'd be hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
I deserve nothing, I am.
Sam I Am. Sam I Am. There's another one.
I am.
Hop on Pop. That's a good one.
Pop on Pop?
Hop on Pop.
Hop on Pop.
Hop on Pop, yes.
Who's hopping on Pop?
The kids.
Nice. Gross.
What's another? There's a Wocket in my pocket.
Wocket?
So yeah, there's a Wocket in my pocket.
Or Wocket?
Wocket. WOCKIT. Wocket.
Oh,
he makes up a lot of words. There's like all these like little things, little Wockets. Yeah. Or in Here's a Who. That's another one. Yeah, that one.
Wocket in my pocket.
Wocket in my pocket. The other day, my daughter asked me not how babies are made. She asked me the question of like, how does the baby get out of you?
Okay.
And I was like, So I was like, let's see if I can get through this. I said, well, sometimes you have to have like an operation. They cut your belly open and they take the baby out of your belly, right? Like a cesarean. I was like, I'll get away with that. And she goes, oh, okay. Is that how I was born? And I'm like, nope. And she goes, how was I born? I was like, I pushed you. She goes, out of where? And I go, this is a conversation we're going to have when you're a little older. And she goes, Mom, I want to have it now. And I'm like, no. I said, you know, there's some words I tell you not to say. You can walk it in my pocket. And she just kept you there.
And she
dropped it. I was like, look at the weather. It's raining. Like, kids are so great. You can just change the subject like within 5 seconds.
Yeah, they don't care.
They're like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Just like, yep.
Oh, God, I got another great story for you. Sure. But so I don't like to curse because I'm a teacher.
Okay.
But you're going to blurp this out. Blurp.
I'm going to blurp it. I'm going to find a blurp sound somewhere in the blurp. Instead of beeping, I'm going to blurp it.
I don't know why.
I'm beeping my curses. You're getting blurped.
I can't wait. So my daughter is friends with this boy that she's known since preschool. Okay. And now they're in different kindergarten classes this year, but they still play outside together. And she went to my parents on Friday and she goes, Gigi and Pop, guess what? My friend so-and-so came up to me in the playground and told me I was a My parents were like, what? And we're like, I was like, number one, Ava, you cannot say those words. And number two, if he ever comes up to you and says it again, you tell him you can't be his friend anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, he has an older sister in high school, and I'm like, that must be where he like picked it up.
Yeah, I'm sure he's been called out by his older sister.
I was like, she thought it was
so. What did she do? Did she say what she did?
She didn't do anything. They
were just sitting there, just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
they're just playing nice. He goes,
yeah,
you blurping
buzz,
blurp hole.
I guess, and like I was like. But I was like, that's not nice. Like, that's fresh. You don't let him talk to you like that. She goes, can I say the words? I'm like, no, you can't say the words. She goes, let me tell you. I'm like, Pop will tell me what he said. She goes, let me just tell you one time. I'm like, no. She knew they were bad words.
Yeah,
like, I've slipped in front of her before.
She knows she's using it now.
She thinks she's funny. She thinks everything she does is funny, and it is. Like, that's the bad part. I have to stop myself from laughing.
Yeah.
She's naturally, her timing is impeccable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God damn.
She's using it on her, like, stuffed animals now.
Oh, yeah.
She's like throwing bleep and bleep hole.
Bleeps. Yeah, she knows 100%.
That's all. I wish I could have known, like, the whole, like, how it went down.
I know, I gotta ask her.
Because he must like her. That's what.
Sometimes she is an effing a-hole, so, like, I get it. But, like, did he use it properly? Was she acting like one? Or did he just, like, go up to her and he was like, hey, guess what? Like...
That reminds me of a story my brother told me about my nephew Mikey when he was little. He goes, my brother got a call saying that he called his teacher a bitch, and he was little, probably I don't know 5 or 6 or something like that, and he goes, Mikey, why did you use that? Why did you call your teacher that word?
Yeah.
He goes, Dad, she was being one. And he said it took everything in his body not to laugh because it's like, how do you argue with that?
You can't.
You just got to call her back. Be like, hey, apparently you were being.
Apparently my son used it properly. So
yeah, I mean, he's got to get some points for that.
And it's not like he called you the C word. So like, it's just
right. That would have been way.
That would have been great.
That would have been
They throw that word around in Europe like it's no big deal.
Well, because it's not. Right?
It's not. It's like a term of endearment.
Yeah, that's like the F word. Like
here, is that a term?
No, but they
the other F
throw
word?
around the FAG word.
Oh yes,
but that's just like a cigarette, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, CUNT is a term of endearment.
See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday. Yeah. It's very. Is it like? Is that really a huge like in this country like? Do people pretend that it's worse than it is? Or is it like...
I think we turned it into something... Like, I think it all has to do with the connotation. So, like, here in America, it's got, like, such a negative connotation. My friend hooked up with a guy from Australia, and while they were hooking up, he called her. He goes, you're such a pretty little... See you next Tuesday. And she was, like, so offended. And I'm like, he didn't mean it as a mean thing. Like, yeah, like, obviously he's not being rude to you.
Right.
It's like them saying, like, babe.
Okay.
Juice.
Is that the worst thing you can call a woman in America?
I mean, I've had friends call me it as like a joke. you're being such a cynic. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, like,
but like I think as comics, we're like nothing bothers us.
Right.
You know
I
what
guess
I mean?
I guess it's how it comes out in the moment, what's happening.
Right. I think I don't really give like it doesn't bother me if somebody calls me a name because I'm like I probably am being like a bitch. Like you're probably right.
Yeah.
It's more like don't act like that, so I have to act like that.
Right.
That's what bothers me. There are girls and guys, but there's women I know that like get really offended by things like that. And like I think it just depends on people's level of tolerance and respect.
Yeah, yeah.
But I don't like my dad to raise me is just like who cares?
Sticks and stones.
Well, Ava was getting picked on. My daughter was getting picked on the bus, and my dad talked to her, and he goes, "Just tell people your opinion doesn't matter." And he goes, "Go up to people, go like this. See, I don't even care. I'm brushing you off." So that's what she does. Which I'm glad she's like that. She's like, please, yeah.
Yeah, she should do that to the kid that calls her and is like, and
I know, like.
And I'll give you 2 more. You can call me. You gotta just like feed it.
Yeah.
Like if you think that hurts me, you should call me this and this the next time.
She is so confident, my daughter, that I'm like, I love it. It's hard to parent her sometimes because she's so stubborn and like strong-willed. But like as a strong female role model, and the fact that she's such a strong female little kid, that makes me so happy.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but it's hard to parent her.
Yeah, probably. It makes me so happy, frustrating.
Yeah, so frustrating.
I'm really happy.
I remember she's going to be a CEO running her own company someday.
That'd be cool.
She's going to take over the world.
That's a lofty goal.
Trust me, if anyone can do
what's
it.
your goals? World domination. Anything less than that is,
Yeah. You ever watch Pinky and the Brain? Or is that after your time?
I've never
Animaniacs?
Nah, I've never been a big cartoon person.
No, yeah. Well, you did that cartoon show. That's why I was asking you.
Right, but
you just drew.
I just produced
you just drew them. You didn't
draw them. I hire an artist to draw them.
Okay.
I just produced the show.
There were these 2 rats that were taking over the world. So it was Pinky and the Brain.
I know who Pinky
oh,
and
you
the Brain
know?
are.
Oh, okay. You're well versed in them.
I've babysat children.
I've been around children, Emily.
Yeah, I've seen Pinky and the Brain. I'm not part of the fan club.
I mean, I don't know if I would be part of the fan club either, but I did like Animaniacs.
I used to watch Ren and Stimpy a lot.
I was not allowed to watch Ren and Stimpy. No.
Oh.
My parents, I guess my mom thought she'd save me from a career in stand-up comedy, but obviously that didn't go well. But yeah, I was not allowed to watch that. I never really got into South Park either.
I
wasn't allowed to watch that. I love Family Guy.
That's one of the funniest shows ever created.
100%. If I could write for that show, I would be like, that would be the dream job.
I don't think I'm funny enough to write for that show.
Probably
like,
not.
Is such a great, such a well-written show, but so edgy. Like the stuff they can get away with on that show is
so quick.
Yes.
And that's what I love. Like they'll like pull a joke and you're like, oh, that and Bob's Burgers I think is so well done.
Oh yeah.
Well done.
Stand-ups don't write that type of comedy well.
Know, but I want to do that.
You know,
that's my dream job.
Yeah.
Or to write for like be a writer on SNL, but who doesn't want to do that too?
That's a gruel. You ever read books on SNL?
Yeah.
Like a good book is Jay Moore's book.
I haven't read it.
Gasping for Airtime. It's just like it's
really good.
I would never want to work there based on reading that book. It seems like
torture.
Plus, I don't want to be a writer like that. I don't know if I could churn out material like that.
That fast, yeah. I want to
apparently it's a big den of thieves too.
Yes, that I've heard.
Huge den of thieves where they actually go around to comedy clubs and just write material for this week's sketches because the stakes are so high.
Right.
You have to write every week. You have to come up with ideas every week.
Yeah.
And it's got to be taxing. I mean,
100%.
Well, that's like sometimes like I'll see other comics say, "Oh, I'd love to be a writer." I'm like, but you don't even write that often for your own act.
I know.
Like, never mind. Like, like having to weekly for somebody else to do.
Yep. I'm guilty of that.
And write where you'll write and then it won't even get on.
Right.
You can't,
well, that's the most devastating. It's like you write all these things that you might think are great and then they don't even get chosen. Yeah. I want to go take more sketch writing classes because I did that during the pandemic. I took them online through UCB and stuff and I loved it. And I would like to get more into sketch writing because like I always considered myself a writer before I was a comic, even before I got into comedy. Like I write poetry and stuff like that. Yeah. And like I just love that. But like I don't write every day, which a lot of comics say you have to. And I get that mindset. Whereas I will go like 3 weeks without writing anything and then I will spend like hours just writing. Right. I have to like have like that not like the inspiration. I gotta be feeling it. Like, I don't know. I don't want to force myself to write every day.
Well, actually, because that one article you sent me about like the dementia and stuff like that, like they said one of the things we'll talk about this article.
I guess we'll pull this one up,
because about writing.
Yeah,
and I do write a lot. Lately, I've been so busy producing stuff,
right,
and getting this podcast off the ground that but I used to be like you, where I was like, I can only write when I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
But then I wasn't being productive enough.
You weren't feeling it that much.
Well, I wasn't getting
right.
So I write all the time now, no matter what it is.
Okay.
Whether like what that article says, like even if it's about my day, about my anxieties, about something good, I just write almost like a journal.
It's also very therapeutic.
It's therapeutic, but it's also because once I get in the mode of writing,
right,
then I start thinking funny,
right,
and then I start thinking. Sometimes I'll come up with something for a screenplay, or a character that I have developed in another screenplay. Oh, that's something that guy would say.
Yeah. See, I gotta get better because I have so many ideas up here.
Yeah.
And then I almost like psych myself out. I overwhelm myself about like so many ideas that I'm like, well, I have so many ideas, I can't get any of them out. Whereas I need to just like be like, okay, this is the one we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah.
And then you can focus on that one tomorrow because I have so many ideas for like screenplays and sketches, and they just sit in my big brain and rot.
Yeah, screenplay. I love writing screenplays. I have a bunch that I've written that I haven't produced.
I might have to hit you up about like I forgot how to even write a screenplay.
Well, my like a lot of times what used to get me caught up writing screenplays was I would always sit down to try and write it in screenplay format.
Okay.
And you think, oh, I got to get this out.
Right.
But I don't do that anymore. So say I have an idea. I write the idea out like a short story.
Oh wow!
I just write it out,
and then you go back
this to do this. I want it to be this. I want it to. It's so all over the place. But I get all the idea.
Right.
I want to write a story about this and a that does this and then that, blah 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 blah, and then I get that, and then I could break it down a little more, and then I'm ready to write like a first draft.
That's actually a really good idea.
And then I just put it away, and then I come back to it.
Right.
I always have working notes in my phone, dialogue, because I try to I don't know if you know who Brian Koppelman is.
No.
He wrote the movie Rounders. He wrote Billions.
A great movie. Yeah.
He's a great follow on Instagram because he does this thing. Writer hears dialogue in the real world.
Okay.
I try to. From his inspiration of listening to him do this, I love his Instagram where he'll be like, "Oh, I was in the gym today. I ever heard this." It's just something someone naturally said, but be a great line for a character. So now I'm starting to do more of that. Where
to listen.
I'm trying to be a better listener in life all around.
In every aspect, working on that listening.
I'm working on it, but
it's a hard thing.
But I'm really working. Here's a few things. So I'm working on listening better. I'm working on getting my phone out of my life, especially when I'm alone doing something where I could listen and be with the world.
Yeah.
And create and allow cretivity to come in. So I feel like this zaps my brain power so much that I don't even allow creative thoughts in.
It's such a bad distraction.
And one tip that I was in a writers group during COVID. One of my acting teachers invited me. It was guys all over the country. We had every week we had a new prompt to write towards. It was like, we're writing 3 pages on this prompt, whatever it is. It was very random. That's
kind of cool.
I'll let you. It's actually a screenplay if you ever want to check it out. I know people don't like to read other people's shit. I don't offer because normally, but it was like this one prompt where it was like, you got to write a story only using a certain amount of words dialogue, like 30 words throughout the whole script. So just description. So because movies are told with images. Sometimes when they're too talky, they get boring.
Yes.
So I wrote the screenplay that's basically mostly acting without a lot of dialogue.
Oh, I love that.
And but one thing I learned from, I don't know if I learned it in the group or from somebody else, but I stopped talking to people about my ideas.
Yeah.
Because my brain registers that as me as I just wrote.
Oh.
So then I think I'm writing.
Right, but you're not.
I'm like, yo, dude, I got this idea for a screenplay.
Right.
And it's like, oh, I wrote.
Yeah, now it's done.
I didn't think that, but my brain registers that. So it's a little, if any of these little tips, if you're having a hard time writing.
I just think I have to get my phone out of my, I have to have be like, okay, this Saturday, I know my daughter should be at her dad's house. I got to sit. I had to go to I have to get out of my house. First of all, I got to go to a Starbucks and sit without a phone and write.
Yeah.
I need to get those distractions out. I'm also not a comedian who does comedy every night of the week. And there's people that love that. But I need to go live life so that I have things and inspirations to write about.
Exactly.
And that was a big comfort. I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but that was a big thing that I disagreed with somebody I dated who was a comedian who was wanted to do comedy constantly. And I'm like, but then what are you writing about?
Right. You need a life.
You need a life. You need to go do stuff. And I have a kid, and I'm very social. I like to go out with my friends. The funniest shit happens with them.
Yeah. That's always been my thing. Early on I was very obsessive, but I was a lot younger and I didn't have anything going on in my life, so it was very easy to be obsessive about stand-up. But it's not even just for creativity. It's I want to enjoy my life a little more. I like the balance I have with a regular life, going out, meeting my buddy at the cigar lounge, having a cappuccino and just talking sports. Or going to the I don't know. I don't want to always live in that, but when I do sit down to write, I got so much stuff.
Right.
Because I don't know, the Apple, there's a journal thing on the new iOS or whatever.
Oh, really?
Or maybe it was an iOS or two ago where it's it prompts me. I guess it knows my location, so it'll send me a thing right about when you were at whatever.
That's
I was
so
I was at the Feast of San Gennaro in Denville last week, eating so much food, and then
all of the
prompted
food
me to write about that.
That's great.
And there's a journal app in here that I can just.
Oh, we're gonna have to talk about that.
And now I can go back to these notes.
We're gonna have to talk about that because that would be great for me, an impromptu. I've been writing down all the stuff my students say, or my colleagues say, or my colleagues know I do comedy, so they'll run across, I have a story for you, and sometimes I can use it, and sometimes I'm you can't use that on stage. It's too much of an inside joke, but it'll give me another idea.
Yeah, but sometimes you can. Don't write it down. Because I used to think that too. This is too inside. But if you learn how to set it up properly,
well, I'll tell you. Can I share a school story?
Yeah,
I had the funniest. If you would have told me, so I had the funniest thing happen. So I'm teaching high school now for the first time in. Oh my gosh, the last time I taught high school, I was 24. So I was 23. So 11 years ago. So it's been a while. I taught middle school. So I'm still getting used to high school. I love high schoolers. They're great because they're apathetic and they it's less babysitting and more just trying to get them motivated to do something. So I teach ESL, English as a second language, and I had a couple junior boys that great kids, just not motivated. So I was giving them an alternate assignment to help them with their grade. And jokingly, the one kid's "You think we're stupid?" I'm like, "I don't think you're stupid. I think you're lazy. I don't think you're." He goes, "Did you hear that? She said we're stupid." I'm like, "I didn't say you were stupid." He was riffing with me, whatever. And he tried to get his friends on board, and they wouldn't get on. They wouldn't get on board. So he was like, you said I was stupid. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I'm walking around the room 10 minutes later and they're doing notes and he mumbled something under his breath. And I go, did you just hear that? He called me stupid. Did you guys hear him? He called me stupid. And his friends were like, yeah, he called you stupid. And it was, the whole class lost. It was great. I said, I Uno reversed him. That's what I call it. But it was, and he looked at me like he thought it was the funniest thing ever. But they're just so, they get it. You know what I mean? They get the sarcasm and it's I don't know. It was so fun. So he called me stupid. And they're like, yeah. And then we were talking 40 minutes later. I was like, remember when he called me stupid? And they're like, yeah. I was like, good. I'm working in callbacks.
You're getting callbacks in
class. But they're good. They're good kids.
Yeah. So do you write screenplays and stuff? Have you ever written sketches?
I've written sketches.
Yeah.
When I took that sketch class, I loved it. I had so much fun writing them. This one girl, Julia, I don't know if she does comedy or she just took this class for fun, but it's not going to be as funny because I'm not going to give enough background here to make it funny. But she did this.
Way to set it up there, Emily.
I'm like, I don't remember. But But it's like what I liked about sketch writing, it's very similar to improv. Like the stupidest thing will be hilarious. Like those little things we just did earlier. But she had this one well-written joke where there was a guy, he was eating dinner somewhere, and everything he did, he just would like say chef's kiss. He would add chef's kiss at the end, and people were like, you're not using it properly. Like that was the whole sketch. It was so funny because it was so stupid.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, that's chef's kiss. And like, you can't say like that doesn't fit this.
So he's just using it all the wrong scenarios.
All the wrong scenarios. It was hilarious. It was great.
It was ever filmed, or you just wrote it?
No, they just wrote. I didn't write it. This girl Julia wrote it. It was great though, but I was laughing.
Yeah,
everything makes me laugh. But like it was so good. I did one. This is in 2020, so I did one about it was. Dinner at the White House with the Trumps. That was for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
So I wrote one like that, and then I'm trying to think of other stuff. I don't know. But I loved it. It was so much fun. I would like to get back into it. But like you had a writers group. I would love to like have like some kind of like a writing group. Joe Weber's trying to start one.
Yeah, comedians are tough to like.
It's hard.
Like, I was the sole comedian in this writers group.
Yes,
they were playwrights and screenwriters.
That's great.
And I was hanging out with all my comedian friends, showing them all these scripts I was writing. So I was putting out a lot of work over that pandemic. So I had nothing to do.
Right.
And I was just very creative with this group. And they're like, dude, we'd love to do something like that. And I go, well, how about this? I go, I'll just send you guys the prompt.
And then you do
and
it.
then we can have our own little meeting about it, and it's the same thing. And none of them came back with anything ever.
No,
they don't want to write.
Well, the funny
they want to be writers. It's so the hardest part of being a writer is writing.
Right, 100%.
You know what I mean?
But the thing, it's so funny. Like stand-up comedians, we're so individualized. Like we only care about because we only have to care about ourselves when we're on stage. Well, and the audience, but we don't have to work with other people. So I feel like when like with improv comedians. Like there's such like a community. Like they all want to work together and help. In stand up, we're like,
it's a solo art.
It's a solo.
It's a very. I mean, most of my closest friends in comedy, that's what we do is bounce ideas
off each other.
We don't do writing groups. We have a hang.
There you go.
And we like go, yo, I'm working on this, and we throw it out there. But there's some friends that I think the comedian friends of mine that are great friends of mine, they're not good at that. They're just so like they give me nothing. So I have so I have like two people that I hit up with bits.
But I have the same thing. It's like the informal stuff. Like I have a really great friend of mine who wrote my closer or helped me write my closer, and then Jay Black wrote one of my divorce jokes after hearing my story multiple times. Like, and they do help you because you have all these ideas, and sometimes you just need. You've helped me write like tags. Sometimes you have all these jokes in your head, and then you're just like, hey, like I heard that, but like try this, or this would be great addition to what you're.
Right.
But it's only the people that like know you. Like I've gotten other comedians give me advice and they meant well, but I'm like, that is not my voice. Like that won't sound, it sounds great coming out of your voice. It will sound weird if I say it.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like, not my.
Yeah. Well, I tried writers groups early on. Like people come with nothing and they're like just like a half-baked idea. I'm like, oh, you want me to write jokes for you?
Yeah, you literally want me to do your job.
I'm not writing jokes.
Yeah, I'll write jokes for myself.
Writing jokes for myself.
Right. That's why I'm here. Right.
Oh my God. It's a different muscle.
100%.
Like my writers group used to always tell me because they knew me as a stand-up.
Yeah.
A lot of them saw me live. Mm-hmm. But most of the stuff I wrote was not funny. It was very dramatic or like love stories.
It changes pace.
And they're like, Joe, they love my writing, but like we're expecting a lot more comedy from you. I'm like, but I do that all the time.
Right.
But sometimes my like love stories or like dramas have some comedy to it.
100%.
Because it's like kind of like like if I'm like two characters, the seduction is almost like not so like, you know, it's fun.
Right.
It's like you want it to be like lighthearted.
I don't
think
I'm
not going for like laughs, but it's humorous.
But I don't think comedy and drama are so far apart.
They're not.
At all.
They're not.
They're closer than people think.
Yeah.
You know, that's why rom-coms are so popular.
Yeah. And I don't even watch a lot of rom-coms, but good. I write.
Like a romantic comedy style.
I like to write. there's certain ones that I love.
Right.
I'm trying to think. What's that one? Is it like Bluebird or something? Did you ever see that?
I didn't see that, but I know what you're talking about.
I'll look it up in between episodes.
Okay.
But
what do you mean? We go home and then we come back
we don't
another
record
day.
Yeah, we do. We record 2 in one day. What do you think we are? But I like to write that stuff because it's something different.
Yes.
Than what
people normally.
What I normally do.
Well, they had my gosh, I'm like can't think of anyone's name right now. Who is oh my god, there's a new movie coming out with Kate Winslet and Andy Samberg, and it's his first serious role. Okay. And apparently he did an amazing job, but like people only know him from comedy and like SNL. So I'm curious to see it. I really want to go see that movie.
Comedians are great dramatic actors.
100%.
Like Adam Sandler in that gambling movie. I forget what the name of it, when he was like that compulsive gambler. It was like very anxiety inducing.
I didn't see that one, but even in
Uncut Gems.
Oh yeah. So I heard it was excellent.
Excellent. Yeah. Like that, believe me, I have anxiety. I know what anxiety, that fucking movie gave me anxiety.
Right, watching it, right.
It portrayed anxiety
perfectly.
I'm not a gambler, but I understood his anxiety.
He's done a few movies, I guess they're technically romantic comedies, but did you ever see Spanglish?
I haven't seen that
It's a great movie, and it's like a more serious role, and he did a good job. Yeah,
I have to see that. I was always on my list.
It's a good one.
Yeah, so I like Adam Sandler.
I like that one. Yeah, I like Adam Sandler a lot. I like that he always throws his buddies in a movie too. If you're gonna watch a movie, you're gonna see David Spade show up.
That's what you got to do.
You got to do. That's what I would do.
All my friends.
Right.
So I can't meet strangers and cast them, and I got no time for that.
Kevin James.
I write my sketches
based on your friends. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I know who's going to play this. Who's going to play that.
Yeah, I've done the same thing though.
Because it's easier for me to just figure out the character that way if I can visualize them.
When I write, I have some ideas for screenplays and stuff where the lead is I put myself in the lead. Not because I want to act as the lead, but because it makes it easier for me to write the part because I know what she's thinking. Right. And, her reactions to things. Because they're also loosely based on my life usually. Yeah. We write from our own experieners. So,
of course.
Of course. Do we want to talk about that dementia article?
Sure, let's do it.
All right, let's dive in here. Let's see.
If you would have told me.
Oh, sorry. Apparently it's picture day tomorrow. Glad I got that reminder. Great. Anyway, sorry. Sorry for that segue.
For you or Ava?
Me. Good thing I straightened my hair. All right, so this article says a new study, this is a BuzzFeed article, by the way. Shout out to BuzzFeed. A new study shows your dementia risk may increase if you have this mental health condition. In a world of uncertainty and challenges, it's pretty common to experience anxiety. You and I both have it, Joe. But with
both getting dementia.
Both getting dementia. But but while a little stress is normal, chronic anxiety can have a damaging effect on your overall well-being, including your brain health. A new study led by researchers at the University of Newcastle in Australia found that people who deal with anxiety are more likely to develop dementia as they age. So you and I are screwed, is basically what it's saying. We're done. We're done.
Where am I?
Because as my therapist has diagnosed me with bouts of anxiety and depression. I'm like, well, that's why I'm a comedian. That's
bouts of
I have an adjustment disorder with bouts of the anxiety and depression.
What's an adjustment disorder?
It's one of the more common ones. So in order to get seen by a therapist and have it covered by insurance, they have to give you a diagnosis. Okay. So she diagnosed me with an adjustment disorder because when I first started going to her, it was right after my divorce and during COVID and moving in, there was a lot of adjustments. Yeah. But that's apparently a real thing. But the anxiety and depression made sense. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder if is that dementia if you're chronically depressed, or what if you're just I feel like my depression's more
here and there.
Not chronic. Yeah. What was it? My therapist put me on Wellbutrin because I'm a ruminator. That's what she called me. I ruminate.
My therapist has not medicated me. She just has me raw dog in life.
Yeah. Well, this one, Wellbutrin, she gave me one time, but it made me feel odd. Okay. And I was like, I don't think I need that. Right. And then, Wellbutrin's good because apparently it was like made for like quitting smoking and like losing weight. So like I'm like
wow.
like it suppresses my hunger.
You're like,
sometimes.
hell yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I eat through it sometimes, but
We're not quitters.
But yeah, I definitely works. It's so weird because I definitely noticed myself not ruminating like I did before it.
Okay.
But then like you feel so good. You're like, do I need to take this? Because you're feeling.
But then you stop and you're like, oh.
But now there's been. Right. Well, here's my thing. Like I'm like, did I take it? I don't know. And then I'm like, if I take two, with like I don't know.
You fall asleep like I did with
if I skip it, then I'm like, man, I'm ruminating. Like I guess I didn't take it. I'm back to ruminating.
Can you like I can tell when I'm going into, like, I call them spirals. So I can tell when I'm spiraling. I can tell when my anxiety is high or when my depression is starting to kick in. Like, I can recognize it and kind of like sometimes self-talk myself and be like, it's just, you're having like I said, like, you're having a episode. You're going to be fine. It's just like, this is happening right now. Let's try and get out of it mentally. Sometimes I can talk myself out of it.
No, I do that. Yeah, because I did therapy for about 3 years solid with this woman. I think we did about 2 years. I took some time off, and then went back for a little bit, and then but like she doesn't think I'm like clinically depressed,
right?
I did learn techniques of talking myself out. You know what it is. It's just like whatever, like in like no one helps. My experience is no one's helped me in life when I had these things. I never expressed them, so I was just dealt with them the way I dealt with them and came up with these horrible habits of just believing that I had no control over this situation. Now it's like I don't have control over the initial.
You have control on how you react,
like and how I react. So it's like now I have a lot more knowledge. I kind of know, and I'm like I'm okay with being depressed now. Like I could be home, be depressed, and be like, this is not the end of the world. You're gonna ride through this. Where I used to like,
it was the end of everything.
I had to fix it or like figure it out, or I gotta call someone and ruin their day. Not like ruin their day, but it's like you're draining friends. Yeah. You know.
Oh, do I ever? Yeah.
Like, I remember like Mark Maron had a great bit one time where he goes, I got two guys. I got the guy I go to and the guy I go to when I drain the first guy.
That's great. But it's like so true. And my friends are troopers sometimes. But like I'm there for them too. I feel like.
Right. But you get to a point where you're like, I need to really like you know.
Right. That's why I've been in therapy now over 4 years. I started in 2020 and she's been like a godsend. She's great. Because sometimes you just need to, like, sometimes I'm embarrassed. I don't want to talk to my friends about things.
Right.
So you need a professional who feels like, and she's like, you have some amazing coping mechenisms. I was like, I don't know where I got them from, but I just like kind of figured them out as I went. Like I can literally be like in therapy with her and like self-diagnose. She'll watch me like talk things out and diagnose myself as I go. She goes, you figured it out. And I'm like, oh, okay. But you need like, I don't know. I need that sounding board.
Yeah, I did at that time. She actually told me she didn't think I needed to keep coming.
Oh, I'd be so sad if she broke up with me.
No, she didn't break up with me. She's like, you could come if you want.
Right, but
she's like, it's gotten to the point where you're just kind of tell me about your week.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Right. And like, I thought that was pretty. She could have just, because my insurance paid for it.
Right, she could have kept
seeing me and blah, blah, blah. So I found that kind of respectable.
Yeah.
She was just like so sick of me. She was like, tell me he's doing pretty good.
You would have told me that this guy would be here every week. No, I like my therapist a lot too. And now we have to do the video call because she moved. But I won't give up on her because...
Yeah, I can't do the video one. We did that a little bit during COVID.
Yeah.
And I can't connect. I need to be in the room because I need to know if you're really listening to me or not.
So that's how we started, was on the video because I started during COVID. And then her office was in my town, so we would go. And then she moved out of state. But I just have such a good rapport with her. Yeah. And it's like when you're dating somebody, if you have a good thing going, why are you going to give it up, you know?
Oh, totally. I mean, I would like... I think I go to therapy based on if I'm caught up on something in my life. It's like I'm having like a current issue. It's like I'm stuck in the mud.
Right.
My friends they're not therapists.
No, you need a professional.
Especially guys, just like, dude, hey, we gotta do, you know.
No, it's true though. Like, did you feel like there was such a stigma against going to therapy because you're a guy?
No,
didn't care.
No, because like, you know, I got clean when I was young, so I was used to self-help, like going to meetings and stuff. So I'm always been very open with what I'm going through, even with friends. Like I'm never shy. It's just like some things I feel even are too inappropriate for me to say to even my closest friends.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And that's when you go to a professional.
And that's when I need because though this is my experience, though my friends love to help me and want to be there for me, I don't think they can be as honest as they need to be with me when I'm being self-centered or like being like whatever, like I don't know if I'm being like, I don't know what I'm being. I could be being self-centered, I could not be, but I don't think they're able to tell me that. No. Like a therapist,
they're going to be biased because they're your friends,
I don't need a friend at these certain times. I need someone to be truthful with me,
100%. And sometimes my therapist will tell me things that I don't really want to hear, but that I need to hear. So you're not like, if you say woke up tomorrow and you found yourself in like a bad rut, you would go back to therapy.
Totally.
That's great. I think that's great
because, but I'm, I've been doing pretty good with like the tools.
Sure.
She taught me on how to cope and like work through things. Yeah. Listen, it's just like anything. It's like a year, I'm trying to like, my first sponsor in 12-step programs told me, like 5 years into the woods, 5 years out of the woods, like if you're doing something if you're coping in a certain way for so long, you're not going to be good overnight. It's like
you gotta work,
you'll get there one day. And then
I think everyone's a work in progress though. Like I think I'm gonna forever be working on myself. But you've seen some of my act is about my neurosis. I've turned it into comedy because a lot of my writing I do in my journal is like about what I'm going through. Sure.
You know what I mean?
Very therapeutic.
And some of it because I find myself so ridiculously stupid sometimes that I was like, I gotta talk about this because I can't believe how dumb I am.
Right.
Cause you're like every time I think I've outdone myself, I find a new way to outdo myself in a stupid fashion or like with a weird thought. And I just think that's like, I wouldn't say, unfortunately for me, that's my brand, right?
That's what I'm working with.
That's what I'm working with. But no, I like therapy. With my last therapist, she was great. For the time, she was what I needed. Mm-hmm. But just like other relationships, you're like, I do like you, but you outgrew somebody. I outgrew you. Like I feel like I'm coming here because I respect you. Right. But not, there's not, you're not giving me what I need anymore. I don't think we're giving each other what we're giving each other. It's like, so it's like, for lack of a better term, we broke up, but it was like, it felt like it needed to be. Right. But it was amicable. I think there's no other way to be. Okay, well, it was great. Imagine it wasn't. She'd be like, I can't believe you. Like on her end, that'd be so weird. Like, you are not coming here. You have to. I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call everyone and tell them you said this. I'd be like, I'm showing up every week. Like, no, I think everyone should have some form of therapy. Now, my dad is very Irish Scottish, and he always says like his family is not very emotional. My dad's not emotional at all. He's a loving person, don't get me wrong, but when I'm having an emotional issue, sometimes I will go to him because I need that logical, because I could be sobbing in front of him and he's going to break it down for me logically and look at it that way. And sometimes I find that kind of helps me, like talk me off the edge a little bit. He's like he's the one he's the one who gave me great coping mechanisms because he is so logical to a fault almost. But he's like, nothing has to be emotional. Let's take a look at it this way. Boom, 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 boom. And like sometimes just hearing that, I'm like, oh. That's great. You have a relationship like that. It's very, my dad and I are very, he's not like, I was never a daddy's girl. He was never like, no man's good enough for my dad. It was never that. My dad was always like, you're an adult, you'll make adult decisions. Yeah. And but I think that was good for me. Yeah. I needed that, but he is very much like a logic and numbers guy. Okay. And that's how he's like, why do you let things bother you? And I'm like, I don't know, Dad. He goes, I'm shocked they still let you go to therapy. I'm shocked insurance is still covering that. I'm like, shh, Dad, what are you? Yeah. But he's gotten better. He's definitely gotten better with it. But Yeah, I have a relationship like that with my mom. We talk a lot. I call
That's
her.
nice.
I call her like a couple times a week on my long drives.
That's great.
We get deep, me and my mother.
Yeah.
Like, we're like buds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That's great.
And she's told me I've helped her out, like with stuff I've learned.
That's awesome.
And stuff that she's used in her life, and but like, I mean, like if when I'm honest with myself, like all the stuff that I've learned in therapy, it's like almost like a lot of times my struggles, like I know what I'm doing.
Right.
I know what I just am stubborn and I want to do things my way. And it's really like there's been no secret formula other than me to just be honest with myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're just like why can't things be the way I want them? And then I won't have depression.
Right, 100%. No, it's the same with me. And the other thing for me is just like my therapist used this analogy. I'm such a control freak because I'm like, if I've been doing everything right, this is the honor student in me. I did everything I was supposed to do. Why am I not getting the result that I want? Right? Because there's too many variables in life, right? But my therapist gave me this great analogy. She goes, if you keep going back to the same person and they keep, reacting the same way, why are you expecting anything different? Because it's like
definition of insanity.
But it's like she gives the example of like if a puppy keeps walking it over his owner and the owner keeps kicking the puppy, but the puppy keeps going back to the owner hoping the owner will hold it.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll tell myself you're being the puppy. Yeah. But it's like those things stick with you. Did
you ever hear the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, different results.
Yeah,
that's constant.
Always.
Constant. Yeah.
But I think as comedians, like I said to my dad, I go, I think very deeply as a writer and as a comic. And I think a lot of comedians are this way. We look at the world differently. And I think, at least for me, I'm very over analytical and I look for the deeper meaning in things. And my dad is very much the opposite. So that's why, again, I think sometimes I'm like, I need you to tell me I'm going to tell you a situation and you tell me what you get out of this. Because you might be hitting the jackpot and I might be diving way too deep. But I think that's like our minds just work differently.
Yeah, well,
we're creatives.
Creative people just look at the world in a different way,
right?
And we know how to express it, and that's why when people that aren't creative see a movie, see us on stage, and they go, "Oh, I've thought that, but no one's ever put it to that before." Right? People think these things, but 100%. We find a way to say it, right, in like a fun way,
and that's why we're going to get dementia. And they're going to be fine.
But how boring is getting dementia? Because, like, okay, I'll be okay with getting dementia. Like, am I gonna have dementia and depression? I'm hoping the dementia is so demented that
you forget you're depressed.
Yeah, I don't want to have both. I've heard of dementia patients being stuck in always thinking they're about to go on a cruise. And I'm like, why can't I hope I have that one where I'm like, every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm about to go on vacation.
Wouldn't that be great?
Better? Wait,
like 50 first dates.
But yes. There's no better feeling than about to go on vacation.
No, it's the best. I love it.
Better than vacation.
It is. Like, I love going to the airport. I'm like that weirdo. I like packing. I like going to the airport.
Yeah. I got to find a dementia doctor and be like, what pills can I take to get that dementia?
Get me stuck on that. I'm trying to look at this. But the people in the thing were way older than us. Like, the people in the study were like 60 to 81 years old.
Yeah.
So we're not there yet.
No, we're not there. Well, yeah.
They followed them for 10 years, imagine.
What can we do to combat it, though?
I didn't get to that far. Let's see.
Emily read the news stories.
We didn't even get that news story. I never read. Emily doesn't read.
I'm kidding. I tried reading it.
Here's how to identify and limit your anxiety.
Here we go.
This is funny. Reading an article about the connection between anxiety and dementia certainly isn't going to make anyone with anxiety any less anxious.
No. No, definitely not. That's a problem with my anxiety, too. It's like I feel like I had like a pimple grow the other day. I'm like, is that a lump? Oh
my God, I do the same thing. I'm like, ugh. This says, the first thing I do is encourage people to take a moment to slow down and reflect on the triggers that are showing up. I guess sometimes I can be like, okay, why am I anxious right now? Like, the self-talk, right? Okay, so we can self-talk. Journaling,
I do that.
Jotting down your feelings, right? We do that. You do that more than I do. I should get back into that. Let's see. Well, I do this. What am I doing right now that's making me anxious? Like I stop myself. I go, especially if it's work related, what am I actually anxious about? Let's break this down. And usually it's like, I have all these things to do. Okay, but what's the first thing I need to do? And then like I talk myself, okay, now you did that. Now what's the next thing you have to do? And then I'm not as anxious anymore.
Right.
I'm a big list maker, like work, like I'll make a list of things.
Well, sometimes my depression or anxiousness, I'm like, how tired are you?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Sometimes 100%. All I need is a good nap.
And then you're good.
Or I realize I have not been getting good sleep. Yep. I could probably trace back a lot of my problems to sleep, to exhaustion.
You need to take some of that melatonin I have.
Yeah.
Oh, they said do a body scan. I used to teach yoga.
And you
start at your like mentally like almost like a meditation. A mental body scan? Meditation. You start with your limbs, so your feet, and you feel your fingers, and then you work your way up your body.
That gave me anxiety one time. I tried the Calm app.
No, you got to go to an actual yoga class.
So like they were doing this thing where you close your eyes and then they like feel your head to your arm, and then they got to this point where I swear this was the words they use. They go, feel it in your toes and breathe out your toes. And all I can focus was my toes with little mouths. Breathing them out. And I'm sitting there and I'm like that the rest of that day I was so aware of my toes. Like you're never aware of your toes, but it's once they told me that
breathe out your toes.
Now I'm like suffocating my toes all day.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
Like I'm feeling all toes in every step, and I'm like, delete the Calm app.
We're done.
It's not making me calm.
The other thing I'll do is I'll go to the gym and I'll run.
I do the gym a lot.
Sometimes I need that's a good booster.
I do the gym and sauna after each.
Ooh, a sauna. I'm trying to find our articles.
Sauna.
I've never done the sauna.
I started doing that this year. It's very good.
Yeah.
I'm not up for the conversation in there that people want to have with me, but other than that, the sauna is great. I've done
the sauna once. It just makes me
talk to me.
I went to. I'm sure it's always.
And it's very.
They're always old naked men, right?
No, I had a very. I had like a very fit Spanish guy. Look at me. He's like, "Are you married?" And I was like,
"Joe."
And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "My girl broke up with me." And I was like, "I don't want to do this." And then he starts telling me, he's like, "Oh man," and he starts. I don't listen.
Full circle back to the beginning.
I am sweating, and I've been in the sauna for 15 minutes at this point. I'm trying to stay alive. I don't want to help this sweaty man. But he I think he has anger problems, because I saw him the next day slamming lockers and yelling into a phone. So I'm like,
that might be why he's.
Yeah, I probably missed that part of the story, but I'm like, I was like, that's so bad. I think some steroids are coming true.
Oh boy, I went to this spa up in like Weehawken area, and they had the saunas, and then they had like the ice baths, and I was like, I'm not jumping in that. That's so cold.
No, I do. I go sauna for 20 minutes.
Okay.
And then I go in the shower at the gym and just put it right on cold and just get an extremely cold streak. It's exhilarating.
I'm sure.
Not an ice bath, but it's good enough for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. It's been helping me, all that sort of stuff. Because that's what I don't want to talk in the sauna, because I'm there to like meditate and
to relax.
Relax. And it's like I'll have just some guy be like, "Oh, I like your tattoo on your leg," and I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like,
just be like,
I don't like no, or like so they'll like bring up politics. Hey, who do you?
Just the last
one guy goes, "Oh, what do you think of Nancy Pelosi?" I go, I don't.
I never think of her actually.
I don't.
You're like, I don't have an opinion. I am.
I don't
opinionless, right?
If I start thinking of her, I'm gonna kill myself, because I don't want that life, where I'm thinking of Nancy. Like, what's happening in my life where I'm focused on
Nancy Pelosi?
Anybody in Congress or the Senate be like, "What'd you thinking today?" About some guy who
doesn't give two shits about me.
But I guess people are lonely and they just want to talk.
They go to the sauna. What a weird place, though. Like, I feel like there's
there's the steam room. I stopped going there because people talking to me. I can't see them. I'm like, now it's
like a ghost.
They're like, so I walk in and I'm like going through the whatever, the mist, and I'll sit down, and I don't even know someone's there. Then they're like, how's it going? I'm like, ha.
Where did you come from?
Because it's very, like, you ever go into a Steam?
I think so. I think there was one.
Can't see nothing. Then I guess it settles. You start seeing people, and then like it shoots.
Those rooms aren't good for me because of the glasses.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
I don't go in them. I don't like not being aware of my surroundings.
Right.
The sauna, I'm sweating. I don't know. I don't find the need to talk to people. And there was a guy in there one time taking a selfie of himself, and I'm in the background. And now I'm like, I can't believe I'm on this guy's Instagram feed. Possibly. I don't know.
Was it the Spanish guy?
No, it wasn't a Spanish guy. It was another. There's a lot of Spanish people in the area, so it could have been. But I just remember being like, I think I'm all like coy and I'm like, this guy, but it's really shock. I'm like, he's taking a picture. I'm like,
I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah, there's signs all over. Okay, there's signs, no pictures.
Right.
In the gym, in the locker room.
Right.
There's also don't sit bare ass on the sauna.
And they do that too.
They do. They
Lovely.
do. Grossly laying out there, and I'm like, why? There's towels, there's shorts, there's a lot of barriers. Like,
This is why I don't go to these things.
Yeah, it's just people are just gross.
Fine, you'll forget about it when you have your dementia.
What?
You'll forget all about it when
I was acting like I had dementia.
You're not 60 to 81 years old.
No,
Not yet.
no, not dementia. So,
All right.
that's that. That's
That was good, I think.
we had a great episode.
That was great.
Yeah,
We got to one article.
We got to one article, but we had a great conversation.
That was fun. That was a good time. It
good
got
stuff.
deep. It was
If you would
deep.
have told me, we would have only got to one article.
If you would have told me we was going to get this deep.
It was nice, natural flow.
It was great. I loved it.
I hope you people at home are enjoying this. We're having a good time. So please email us at youtobme@gmail.com. No, if you told me, I don't even know. See, that's the problem.
Is that our email? I don't remember.
She didn't remember. She was like, I think it's wrong, Joe. Let's see. It's called If You Told Me at gmail.com. We are on Spotify. So if you want to watch the video of this, it's on youtube.com/Joe Fernandes.
Spotify.
Spotify, you can watch the video or audio.
Yep.
Apple iTunes and currently iHeartRadio and Amazon Podcasts. I'm gonna get it on some more, but those are just the main ones.
All the cool kids are. Those are the good ones. The cool kids.
I know this is corny to say, but please go to wherever you're listening to it, rate and review it.
Yes, please.
Throw a comment. If you want to ask us a question in those reviews, that's fine.
Yeah.
Email us. I'm going to be setting up a Google voicemail soon, so you guys can leave us voicemails if you want, and we'll play them. We don't have to play them.
Do a Q&A.
Do a
Ask
Q&A.
us questions. Send us emails.
Or if you're like, yo, I got this crazy story.
Yeah,
you guys got to talk about. And that's that. You can go to, if you want to see where I'm performing live, joefernandes.net. Or my Instagram at Joe Fernandes, and
Instagram at Emily Page Comedy.
And thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Beautiful.